Hey guys, this is the Algebra 1 Unit 4 review video. In this video, I'm going to go over all the answers and how I solved each one. If you want just a copy of the answer key, please take a look at the other document posted on Google Classroom. Question number 1. Write the equation of the line in slope-intercept form. So just remember, this is slope-intercept, y equals mx plus b. When I write the equation in that form, I need two things. What's the slope? What's the y-intercept? So we need to identify those as I'm writing the equation for each line. So in the first question, my y-intercept is right here. That is at 3. So I'm going to just remind myself that b is 3. The slope, it's going down 1, 2, 3, and going over 1, 2, 3, 4. So my slope is negative 3/4. My equation, y equals, in the equation we can see that the m comes in front of the x, so negative 3/4 x, and then now my b, plus 3. Number 2, the y-intercept's at negative 1, the slope is 1, 2, 3, 4, and over 2. Now when I look at 4 over 2, that reduces down to 2. So I looked at those points, but I could have went up 2 over 1, and that's what I need to do. So my equation is y equals 2x minus 1. Next question, crosses at 2, goes up 1 over 3, y equals 1/3 x plus 2. All right, you're going to have 3 questions very similar to these 3, so hopefully we're feeling pretty comfortable with that type of question. Number 2, find the m and b for each equation and graph it. Well, it's in slope-intercept form, so it's easy to identify the m and b. The m is in front of the x, so 2. The b is the y-intercept, or the last number, 4. And now I need to graph it. So I'm going to start at 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then go up 2. And remember, if it's just a whole number, it's really over 1. So up 2 over 1. Reverse it, down 2, backwards 1. All right, so that is the line that describes, or that's the graph described by that line. Letter B, the y-intercept's negative 5, slope's negative 1/3. Go down to negative 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plot a point. Slope negative 1/3, so down 1 over 1, 2, 3, down 1, 1, 2, 3. Always work to the right. The negative tells you up or down. Always work right. Now if you reverse it, you can go up and backwards, but that's the opposite of both, right? So up 1, backwards 3, 1, 2, 3. Still works, but I'm flipping both rules. All right, next question. It looks like I accidentally snipped something over it, but it's asking us what's the equation that describes the tile pattern. So here's my tile pattern. I'm going to start by counting the tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I can see that the growth is 2. And then what does it start with? And remember that when we talk about start, we don't want figure 1, we want figure 0. That's the starting point. So if it's growing by 2, if I subtract 2 off from figure 1, I know that there's 5 in figure 0. Okay, so now my equation is y equals, growth is like the slope, so 2x, and the start is like the y-intercept, plus 5. So that's the first part done. Second part, how many tiles are there going to be in figure 55? Now I could just keep counting. I could add 2 and be in figure 4, add 2 and be in figure 5, but that's going to take forever. So why don't I use the equation that I just built? The y represents the number of tiles, and the x represents what figure we're on, right? So if we have figure 55, we can plug that in place of the x, and we can figure out how many tiles are going to be there. So y equals 2 times 55 plus 5. Well, if I calculate that, 2 times 55 plus 5, is 115. So there's going to be 115 tiles in figure 55. All right. The next question, I snipped it wrong, but I can see it here on my hard copy. It should be negative 4x plus y equals 9. So if I want to change it to slope-intercept form, I know that that means it needs to be in the form of y equals mx plus b. So y has to be by itself. Okay, well recently we talked about the shortcuts for isolating a variable. I can take this 4x and I can just move it to the other side of my equal sign as long as I flip the sign of it. So I'm going to move that 4x over. It becomes a positive 4x on the other side. And I still have the 9, so I have to put plus 9 since it's a positive 9. So I'm left with y equals 4x plus 9. Y is by itself. That's the answer then. Y is by itself. All right. Next question. I'll switch colors so we don't get them confused with this last problem. All right, I want the y by itself. I'm going to start by moving the 2x to the other side. So I have negative 5y equals negative 2x minus 15. Well, in the last problem we were done, but this problem I've got a negative 5 in front of the y. So now I have to divide everything by that coefficient to get the y by itself. These eliminate, and I'm left with y equals negative 2 divided by negative 5 is just 2/5, and negative 15 divided by negative 5 is positive 3. So y equals 2/5 x plus 3. Letter C, this one's in point slope form, and we're trying to change it to slope-intercept. The easiest way is just to go ahead and distribute the number in front of that parentheses. If I do that, I get negative 1/2 x and plus, two negatives make a plus. A half of 9 is 4.5. I still have my y minus 2. All right, well now I want to add the 2 to get the y by itself, and I'm going to add it to the other constant term. So I have negative 1/2 x plus 6.5. All right, that's page number 1. Let's try page number 2. Find the slope. So to find the slope, I'm going to use our equation, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So the change in y's over change in x's. 41 minus negative 11 over 33 minus 20. If you're wondering where I got those numbers, I just plugged them into that formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And 41 minus negative means plus. So 41 plus 11 is 52. And 33 minus 20 is 13. I do need to see if that simplifies. If I do 52 divided by 13, it does simplify down to 4. All right, and the next problem, I got a table. Now at the table, if we know it's linear, then you can just find the slope of 2 points. Like, it doesn't matter, you can pick 2 points. I'm just going to go ahead and find the slope between each of the points. So from negative 2 to negative 1, it's growing by 1. Growing by 1. It looks like it's growing by 1 for each one. And the change in the y's would be down 2, down 2, down 2, down 2. Now this only works this way because all the points were in order. If they're not in order, it is best to just pick 2 points. But I noticed they were in order, so I just wanted to see if that slope was continuous. It is continuous. The table that I give you on the test will also be continuous, so you don't need to do each set like I did. You could just pick 2 points. So I can see that the change in y is negative 2. The change in x is 1. With that reduced, it's just negative 2. All right, now we got a situation we want to find the slope. A baby chick weighs 51.5 grams the day it was hatched. I'm going to write that as a point. On day 0, the chick weighed 51.5 grams. 7 days later, okay, I'm going to write this as a point. The chick weighed 65 grams. What is the chick's rate of growth per day? So how much is it growing on average per day? Well, I can find the slope to figure out that rate of change. That's another way for slope, another word for slope. So I need to do 65 minus 51.5 over 7 minus 0. Okay, 65 minus 51.5 is 13.5. 7 minus 0 is 7. So that's the change per 7 days, but it did ask per day. So I need to divide that to get per day. This is not going to be a nice number. 13.5 divided by 7 is 1.928. So I'm going to round this number to the nearest hundredth. So it's approximately 1.93 grams per day. All right, question 6. Write the equation of the line for the given information. So I need the equation. It's got to be in slope-intercept form. So on the first problem, I know the slope. It's 1/2. But I don't know the y-intercept yet. I'm going to have to find it. There's 2 strategies for finding, as we learned last Friday. First strategy is to just use the slope-intercept form itself and plug in the point and the slope and find what b is. I'll do that. And then on the second problem, I'll do the other strategy. So if I plug it in, this is like your x, this is your y. So in the equation, it's y equals, so I'm going to put 5 instead of the y, equals 1/2 is the m. Then the next is an x, but our x is -2. And then we put plus b. Solve for b. 5 is equal to -1/2 of 1/2 of -2 is -1. Okay, add the 1 to the other side. 6 is equal to b. So the equation, y equals, my slope was 1/2, so 1/2 x. My y-intercept is now 6. I found it, so plus 6. Okay, on this question, I'll do the other equation. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So in order to use this equation, I still need the slope, and I don't have that. So I need to find the slope of the 2 points to start. 168 minus 190, that's going to be -22. And 123 minus 79, that's 44. -22 over 44 is -1/2. So now I have my slope, and I have 2 points, so I can pick a point to choose from. I'll just choose the first point. This is your x1, this is your y1. Okay, plug them in. Y minus 190 equals -1/2 times x minus 79. Distribute the 1/2. -1/2 x, and then -1/2 times -79 is 39.5. Subtract the 39. Oh, never mind. Keep that 39 over there. Add the 190. We want the y by itself. And I get y equals -1/2 x plus 220, should be 229.5, I believe. Let me just make sure. 39.5 plus 190, 229.5. Okay, there's the equation. Keely started her bank account with $25. She saves $30 each Friday. Write the equation. Well, the slope is 30. The start's 25. So y equals 30x plus 25. For each scatter plot, identify the correlation and write the equation of the line if possible. Correlation is a strong, because it's really tight. Points are tight together. Strong negative. And the equation would look something like that. So it looks like it would have a y-intercept around 40, and it's going down. I'm going to pick some points. Here's some points. It's going down 1, 2, and over 1, 2, 3. So it's going down 10 and over 1, 2.